Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 9, Episode 9, DJI Avata 360 promo, and DJI Pocket 4 release date. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. It is March the 3rd. We are well knee-deep into March. That is great. So a week from today, my oldest son turns 42. I'm not saying that makes me feel old, but there you go. I'll let you be the judge of that. So got a full house here already. And March means we're another month closer to the South Florida drone meetup. So Dale's Drone and Action Cam, Steve Janess, Drone Shots, Jody, Bud Bieber. Let's see who else. We got a lot in here already. Wow. You guys were lighting up the chat early on here. RJ Redding is here. Art is here. Jay Bird is here. Michael Wright is here. Joe, USA Drone Flyers here. John Flynn, welcome, John. Lauren is here. Sergeant Rock. Wow, we got a real full house tonight. All right. Got a real full house tonight. As I said, my oldest son turns 42 in a week from today. I'm just like, you can tell me my age. I don't think it doesn't make me feel old, but you tell me how old my children are, that makes me feel old. Okay. Valerie's daughter, Jessica, is, 3 years more. She's 45. So yeah, that, hearing that kind of stuff is the kind of stuff that makes me feel old. Valerie kind of feels the same way on that as well too. So that's just, yeah, that's where that comes. How about the news today? We're going to talk about that coming up here. Just totally out. I mean, Tuesday seems to be the day. Monday is really kind of slow as far as drone news is concerned, but more than often than not, things happen on Tuesdays. It's just kind of crazy. It really is. So, weather is finally starting. For those of you, about weather coming up in the month of April, weather's finally kind of stabilized. I think we're done with the cold. This week, we're probably going to be low 80s for our highs during the day, which is wonderful this time of year. And what's really nice about it, for those of you who aren't real familiar with Florida during different seasons, it's low humidity right now, which it's my favorite time of the year. All right. When the temperature's in the low 80s, low humidity, it's just really, really nice outside. Really enjoyable. Okay. So we do have we do have a few things to talk about tonight, which is real interesting. Let's see. The first thing here, we're going to there's a couple things I really kind of want to reemphasize here. I know we talked about these last week, but it's just like, this is kind of too good to really kind of miss here. So, yeah, that's why we're doing this here. Go ahead and share my screen. All right. This is one of these deals that is so good, you really cannot pass this up here, okay? The Mini 5 Pro being on sale, I mean, I don't have to tell you about the drone. You guys know about the drone. The price on this is just absolute insanity. Do what I did. Get us. I mean, I know believe it or not, I do know quite a few people have got a second one. It's just such a great drone. And with the way the State of the Union of drones, it makes sense to have a backup for your drone. And that's what I did in this instance. I have a backup for it. And I planned accordingly. I got extra batteries, I got extra props and so forth. And all taken care of as far as that is concerned. So, all in all, I feel really good about that. I think it's a great thing. The price is just, you can't really beat the price. Okay. And yeah. And one of the other things, the next thing that I do want to talk about, and I want to thank, I know there's been a number of people who have ordered through this person, but I want to thank Johnny Alfonso, Johnny Drone Flyer, for pointing out about Evelyn Chan. I recently placed an order with her, and I'm going to go out and show you. It's a little different, okay? And I wanted to spend a few minutes and talk about that because, it's not your typical way to order kind of stuff here. So she runs her business out of her Facebook account, which is she lives in Shenzhen, okay? So right in the heart of it all. And she does all her advertising out on Facebook. And how she does it is you give her you message her with a list of things that you want, and she comes back and she will, she'll tell you, this is how much your total is. Is it okay if I send you a PayPal invoice? And you give her your email address. She sends you a PayPal invoice. You pay for it. This is she is so incredible. She took pictures of everything being packed in the box. All right. It's legit because it was my order. It showed everything that was going in there. She told me when it was being taken to their version of the post office and when it'll pass customs and when it should get here. And she's been extreme, just incredible communication on this. And her prices are very reasonable. I found on some of the accessories, they're at least $25 less than what you would pay out on eBay or through a normal retail channels, which I really like. For example, the 65-watt charger, which I've used outside of DJI. I use it for like my phones and my tablet and some other things. It was $25 less than what the retail price was out there, which was fantastic. So I got a couple more of those. Prices on some batteries and props. She has a great supply of Neo 2 props. So I bought I stocked up on those because that's something you can't have too much of. And just a whole host of, it's mostly what I got are batteries and chargers, adapters, that kind of thing. Now, she did have, and I know Johnny, his big purchase was he got an RC Pro 2 off of Evelyn, and he got it for a great price. He got it for about $100 less than I paid for mine out on eBay, and I thought I got a good price for mine on eBay. I should be getting mine probably later this week, according to China Post. But she actually gives me an actual link that works because I've ordered things like off of AliExpress or on eBay, and they use China Express. Well, they'll give you a link, but it's a generic postal link to places in China, and it doesn't always work. But she gave me a link that works. She gave me the tracking number. I can't say enough so far about this. It's gone very smoothly. If you're looking for accessories, you're looking for batteries, props, spare controllers. She also has, believe it or not, there's some Mini 5 Pros that are not in a bundle, but being sold separately. Some controllers as well that are not in a bundle, being sold separately, and has some great prices on those. Definitely want to check her out. She's on Facebook. It's Evelyn Chan. Let's see. I'll go ahead and I'll drop this in the excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat here for you guys. She's worth checking out. And, her prices on batteries were reasonable. They weren't, because I got some Mini 4 Pro. I got a Mini 4 Pro battery off of her, which was right at retail. And some of them out on eBay are charging at least $50 to $75 more than retail. So this is the way to go. If you're looking for props, for batteries, other accessories, there were some Nano 2 accessories out there. There was some Action 6 accessories out there. I highly recommend this route to go here, guys. Definitely wanted to go over this and cover this. I was going to do this last week, but I got kind of waylaid. But I wanted to go ahead and mention this to give you guys a different avenue of being able to purchase things, other than eBay, other than Amazon kind of a thing. And she's very good, very communicative, just fantastic. She gets back to you promptly. Just, it's like I said, I can't say enough good things about that. So, all right. And, continuing in the theme and talking about DJI sales and sales markets. And we may have touched on this article last week, but I wanted to go ahead and still kind of touch on it again here. DJI's most capable drones are still finding their way to U.S. third-party retailers. And, let's call Evelyn one of those third-party retailers. There's quite a few of them out on eBay. Amazon is doing it as well, and there are some great deals out there. And you can see right here, a DJI spokesman shared that DJI Mavic 4 Pro, Mini 5 Pro are still not officially launched in the United States and are not actually importing the drones into the country, and that's because of the whole Uyghur thing going on. That means any drones you see for sale inside the U.S. are likely coming from another country. This does raise a potential concern about warranties or getting either of these drones serviced. If you need to ship your drone to DJI outside the country for repair, getting it back may be an issue, okay? DJI sued the FCC, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute as well, too. But again, this is just a reminder here, there are opportunities here to sell that. And, first and foremost, if you can find it on Amazon, get it. But one thing that I found on Amazon, and I want to caution you guys on this as well, too, like, especially if you're ordering batteries or props, they may not be OEM. And something, I'm a real stickler for OEM, for props, and for batteries, because those are two critical key components for your drone. If either of those fail, your drone's going to crash, okay? It's going to crash and burn, and it's going to be real ugly, all right? So you want to have a battery that is reliable, is dependable, and it's backed by DJI, and you want to have props the same way, because I know there people have had issues with both, and it's caused accidents, it's caused crashes, and you lose your drone, and nobody wins in that instance, okay? Everybody is out in that instance. So, and speaking of insurance here, okay, and I thought I was going to mention that. I got my recent bill from State Farm. Now, what I do is everything in front of me, my monitors back there, that's my work laptop, but that's my monitor, keyboard back there, all my electronics in here, all right, I insure with State Farm. And that includes like my Osmo Action, that includes my Osmo Nano, just everything. I mean, I have my backup Air 3, my backup Neo 2, my backup Mini 5 Pro, batteries, the whole 9 yards. I mean, I everything. I recently, and this also covers my laptop, my main laptop, an HP Omen 17-inch. I have an HP 16-inch. It covers that as well too, and a bunch of accessories. And I thought I'm getting a really good deal on that, because it's several $1,000s worth of coverage for that. So, if you can look into it, I finally, my agent is, I deal with a large agent here in Riverview, Florida area, and he has quite a bit of a turnover because he has a large agency. Well, I think I found somebody that I can communicate with, because previously communicating with them was a real chore, because it would seem I would be given one of the new persons, and they would be there for 6 months and be gone, and nobody would follow up with me and having questions and things. But I finally found somebody that's responsive and answers my questions there. Because I told him, I said, look, if if you guys can't answer my question, why don't you have Mark, the agent, call me as well? I listed the agent by name. So there he is. How are you, sir?
Hey, Bill, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. The Penguins, the Devils and the Panthers are tied 1-1 right now. I was able to watch the first period before the show started tonight, so hopefully better things will prevail, and they can come out on the winning end of things. So how's the weather been for you?
Well, we had, I guess before last year we had the big snow. It's mostly melted away by now. It's got a lot warmer since then. It's still not good weather. Today in the 40s, kind of drizzle. And how about you, Bill?
It's been in the low 80s, Ron, and very low humidity. wind has completely died down. It's really it's the ideal time of year in Florida right now. It really is. It's one of
Well, Bill, about a little more than a week from now, I'll be, getting packed up and on my way to Florida. So I will be, but I won't be there next show. But by the next 2 shows from now, I will be live from Jupiter, Florida.
Awesome. You and Susan are gonna love the weather. I'm telling you right now. I mean, it's just so stinking awesome right now because it hasn't gotten real. It's low 80s. The humidity hasn't been driven up yet, and we're not getting a lot of rain, which that's neither here nor there for me. Yeah. But I'm real happy about the way the weather is right now. Very conducive to doing things outside.
And we've had one of the worst winters since we moved down here full time. Eddie in the chat saying, "Coming live. I'm live from the Jersey Shore right now. I'm probably calling for a more popular destination now than Jupiter, Florida. But this time of year is not popular. But the Jersey Shore is like, I don't know, no place else in the country in the summer months."
Absolutely. Now, I just covered a couple articles about a couple of sales that are going on for DJI. I also talked about Evelyn Chan. Okay.
We mentioned a little bit in last week's show also.
And, what a great experience I've had so far. I haven't gotten my products yet, Ron, but she took pictures of everything being boxed up and sent those to me. She sent me all the proper link to track this, told me when I can expect it here, and to give her, message her if you have any questions at all. She's been very responsive, very
Everybody
communicative.
has the same story. She's good to deal with. But somebody said, can you imagine, not that long ago, we used to order directly from a big corporation like DJI from their professional website and all that. And now we order from a nice woman on Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like the equivalent of, we used to shop at big stores like Walmart and Target, and now we do our shopping at a corner store or whatever, right, Bill? It's kind of going.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's and something like I was telling Valerie about her. She said, how'd you find her? I said, well, Johnny told us about her, and I went out there and I checked it out. Now, he got a real good deal on his controller because normally you can't get them under $1,000. He got his under $1,000. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he got a real good deal on that. And a lot of things I was telling everybody, a lot of things are at retail, which is fine. But there's been a few things that have really surprised me, like their DJI 65-watt charger. It's like $25 less than retail. She's either at retail or just a little bit below on a lot of her things, which is fantastic. Now, she's also sold.
Johnny ordered the little module for the Neo 2 from her, and usually that thing costs about $50. He got one from her for like under $30.
Yeah, she's like, batteries have been retail, which is good because most of them out on eBay will be charging $50 to $75 more than retail for batteries out there.
John ordered a Mavic 4 Pro battery from her.
Mm-hmm. I ordered a Mavic 4 battery from her too. Mostly I got batteries. She had a lot of Neo 2 props, so I ordered quite a bit of Neo 2 props from her. Very inexpensive
we'll have
stuff.
To contact her. Maybe she'll come on the show sometime.
Maybe it lists her city as Shenzhen, so it's very interesting. But like I said, it's been great dealing with her. I'm going to find out this week about the follow-up about getting it. I should be getting everything by the end of the week. So
we talked about last night. Usually we do a Drone Nation deal of the week, but all our deals we talked about recently, the Flip, the Neo 1, the Mini 4K, I think it was the March 1st, all those sales went off and they went back up to higher prices.
Yep.
So you missed, all those deals we talked about in February, what do you call it? The snooze, you lose. If you waited too long, they're gone now.
Yep. And see, and I kind of let in with that. I said, if you had a chance to buy the Mavic 5 Mini 5 Pro, you need to do it. And, it's just like one of those things. You snooze or you lose. Okay. And, with something like that, those kind of things don't come around that often. So that's why you would definitely want to take advantage of that. That's for sure.
Or, if they do come back, it may not be for a while.
Exactly here. And, this is why, and we're going to kind of lead into some things here. And I want to go ahead and start talking about DJI. Now, the first thing that I wanted to talk about was this was DJI's response to, they came out. There's a great article here, and I'm trying to get it up here. Why DJI explains why it's challenging the FCC drone ban here, and I wanted to spend a couple of minutes on that. In a statement to Drone DJ, the company says that despite repeated efforts to engage with the government, it has never been given the chance to provide information to address or repudiate any concerns. The claim is echoed in the court petition itself, which argues that the FCC exceeded its statutory authority, failed to observe required procedures, and violated the Fifth Amendment. Specifically, the filing asks the Ninth Circuit to hold unlawful, vacate, enjoin, and set aside the FCC ruling. In other words, DJI isn't just asking for reconsideration, it's asking for federal court to strike the decision down. What the FCC ruling actually does, and I think we know that here, and we know the great harm to American users and everything. The constitutional angle and DJI's security stance, and I'll let you guys read this, lead your article. But what happens next? Now the case enters the appellate phase. The FCC will have an opportunity to respond. Briefing schedules will follow, and potentially oral arguments could be held later this year. The outcome could shape the future of drone policy in the United States. The court sides with DJI. It could limit the FCC's authority to blacklist foreign manufacturers without detailed public evidence. If the FCC prevails, the decision could solidify a broader precedent for restricting foreign-made communications equipment or national security grounds. Either way, the stakes are enormous, not just for DJI, but for the 500,000 pilot plus commercial drone pilots and thousands of agencies of business that rely on the ecosystem. So it's kind of stay tuned. And the other thing is, if you guys are familiar with our legal system, okay, things don't happen. I mean, this isn't happening next month, okay? They might be doing this probably towards the latter part, probably the third quarter, fourth quarter of this year. So stay tuned for all this. This is going to be a work in progress here. So hang tight. The longer this goes on, I think the better it bodes in DJI's favor, Ron.
Could be. And Rick Smith put a nice video up about this legal case, I think, over the weekend.
Okay, I didn't have a chance to watch
Rick
that.
thought it's a good video. I mean, everybody watching, go over. It's one of Rick's recent videos. He has some good takes on it. Mike Wright says here he fully expects the DJI lawsuit to take several years, and I agree with him.
Oh, 100%, Michael. You're right. This isn't going to happen overnight. This isn't going to happen by the end of the year. You're probably not going to see a decision on this for a couple of years, which I think it's going to bode well for us, because like I said, the longer this goes on, okay, it's going to be more beneficial in our space. And I think one of the things that we're going to see out of this, and this is just me, I think, and Ron's brought it up before too, and I think this is an important thing, and it'll provide somewhat of a relief for us. I think they're gonna strike down this whole Uyghur forced labor issue, which has prevented customs from letting DJI products enter the United States. And if they do that, that's going to be a real boon for all of us. Okay, that will mean that supply chain will happen from DJI directly to us here in the United States.
And more importantly, for a lot of his repair services will be available again, Bill.
Exactly.
And all that just as important as anything.
Yeah, I really think this is gonna. I have a decent feeling about this, Ron. I think things are gonna come out. We're gonna find things. And we're going to find things out about the government, and I think the judge or judges will be compelled to probably rule in DJI's favor, because
Bill, it all depends on what judges it gets in front of it. I know it's at Ninth District Court, but it all depends on who's sitting on the bench, Bill.
Exactly here. So we'll kind of be stay tuned for all of this kind of a deal here.
Yeah. So and of course I would worry how much the government would push this case to a friendly judge for them.
That's true, but you can't really do too much maneuvering. It lands where it lands, and you can't, say, oh, we're going to take it to this court or this court. DJI picked this court for a reason. So, you know,
I'm giving you an old story, but like say 20 years ago, when people used to sue Apple, they used to sue them in one district in Texas because this one judge used to always side, with I don't know, like the small plaintiffs or whatever, and they would always open his case up in this district where they knew they would get this one judge that would rule in their favor a lot, and that went on for years. So
yeah. So and I think that's what we might be seeing here as well too. So this is going to be one of those ones. Stay tuned. It's going to take some time, so be patient with this. And we'll keep tabs on it and watch and see what's going on. But it's a good thing that DJI has done this. It's kind of slowed the works down. So we really, we might have some favor with this, okay? Because some things might get rescinded, while we're in progress here. So
and I learned more about the law during this whole process, huh?
Yep, absolutely. Well, I had business law in college, so
okay.
I do know some, but not enough to go to court with. Now I know you guys covered this last night.
Yeah, Bill. Let's hope you're not the defender you're not the prosecutor for DJI.
Yeah. Oh no. We're not going there. So I know you guys covered this last night, but I wanted to spend some time on this because I thought this was going to be the lead story today, and something else came. This really is the lead story. Yeah. So, but I want to spend a few minutes on this. There was the user guide shows updated physical controls ahead of launch here, and there's some pictures of the user guide.
And it sure looks like the real thing, Bill.
It really does here, and it keeps a signature rotatable touchscreen, but also appears to expand on the dedicated hardware buttons. There's a 5D joystick for gimbal control, zoom button, shutter button that doubles as a power customizable C button, and status LEDs. On paper, that may not sound dramatic, but for anyone who's used the Osmo Pocket 3, addresses some of the common complaints: too many reliances on touchscreen navigation during shooting. Okay, and that's a good thing. The guide specifically mentions the creator control bundle. That likely means DJI will once again offer multiple configurations similar to the Pocket 3 standard and creator kits here. There's also a growing chatter that early units may also be circulating in certain regions, possibly in Asia. That would explain how a full quick start guide ended up online. If that's the case, more substantial leaks could appear soon. As for timing, previous rumors point to a March 26th announcement in China, with a broader global rollout potentially following in April. Some reports also suggest DJI may introduce a higher-end Osmo Pocket 4 Pro later this year. DJI doesn't seem to be reinventing the Pocket formula. Instead, the Osmo Pocket 4 appears to be refining it, keep the compact 3-axis stabilized design intact while improving usability through better physical controls and bundle flexibility. The leak guide is legitimate. The official reveal may be right around the corner here.
I think there was already either a picture or video of somebody in some store someplace in Asia where somebody had in their hand. So that's been taken down, but there, and there was something that looked like the real thing. But Bill, the thing I don't like about all this is that statement. They said a pro model may come out later this year. Maybe that's the one we saw with the 2 cameras. But I wish they would just release these things at the same time, because you're going to have buyers that aren't watching our show. They're just going to buy the regular one with 1 camera, and then 6-8 months from now, they're going to have buyers regret when the other one comes out because they don't know that there's another one and it works. So I kind of don't like it when a company, holds its better model back and lets people that would buy the other model first.
Well, I think that Pro model, if I'm not mistaken, Ron, it's going to be bigger than it's going to. I'm trying to use the right words. It may defeat the terminology DJI Pocket. Okay,
right.
It won't be something that will fit in your pocket. All right, and I think for me, all right, I want something along the lines of a Pocket here. I want something that's going to fit in my pocket. I do the Pro sounds great, but all right, and as I say that, it's not going to fit in your pocket, and that's the whole idea and the premise behind it for me, Ron.
And of course, if DJI waits to release the Pocket Pro, what if Insta360 releases their Luma, which looks like the same thing with 2 cameras on it? So DJI not only has their, their own thing with the other camera, but they may have a competitor be into the market with the Pro.
Exactly. And I think you kind of answered your question here. I know they probably the Pocket 4 has been developed. The Pro may still be undergoing some beta type testing, so I don't think that's why that's potentially ready for release.
We have no idea whether this Insta360 Luna's come out anytime. It may come out next week. It may come out 6 months from now. We have no idea how close that is to being ready.
Right. Now, one of the things that I want to caution everybody on, and I know you guys did last night, is this March 26th release is in China only. Okay, this isn't for over in the EU or the UK or anywhere else. This is a China only release on March 26th.
But since we get a lot of our stuff from China, South Korea, and Japan, we may have eBay sellers selling it the same day from China.
That's possible, Ron. But if this is a Chinese version, the box is going to be in Chinese. Everything's going to be like that. It won't be like what we've gotten from South Korea or from China before, that will be completely in English. So, and I think one of the things, and I know you guys have talked about it, and I know we've talked about it here as well too, is when this comes out and when you do see it on eBay, wait a week. Okay. I know some of you guys have pockets that are on fire, and you have cash in there that you have to spend, and I get it, and I understand that, and you want to do it, and that's fine. But do yourself a favor, and I know I've stated it before, and I know one of our subscribers came back to me and said, I told him to wait on the Neo 2, and he said, Bill, I waited a week and I paid $100 less for it because you're suggesting that. You and Ron suggested that. So that's something.
Yeah. And if you wait that week and the price doesn't drop, wait 2 weeks.
Exactly. Okay. You're not going to, okay. Let me put you this way. All right. You're not Potato Jet. You're not whoever else is going to get this first. Okay.
Yeah.
They've already gotten their video out. You're not going to be a groundbreaker. You're not going to be the first YouTuber out there with it. It doesn't matter. Okay. Even if you think you have a good channel, which we all do and everything, and that's fine, but it's not groundbreaking. It's not something.
And here's how you defeat that by the Potato Jets of the world having out the minute it's released. Well, they'll make a nice video. He'll make a nice video, but he'll never show it again in his channel. So you could get him down the road because you're making 2, 3, 4, 5 videos with it where he'll never revisit it again.
Exactly.
But when somebody goes to watch his video down the road, they'll say, well, that video is a year old. These other guys made a video just last week.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, again, with this, we're going to keep our eyes and ears to the ground. March 26th is about 3 weeks away here. So stay tuned for that. We'll watch this release as it happens over in China. And I would expect in short order that we would probably see a promo video for the Pocket 4 for the rest of the world very shortly after that, or during this time. I think it would be real imminent that we would see that. So kind of stay tuned, kind of keep your seatbelts on and keep them buckled. And, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how all this goes.
Bill, any guess? I mean, I think I was reading last night. I don't know if Igor or some of the big leakers said the price would be between $499 and $649. Do you have a guess what you think the price will be for this? Is the Pro, just the Pocket 4 with one camera on it? What do you think?
I'm going to say $599. I think that sounds about right. What was the Pocket 3 at launch? $549 or $529? I'm not talking creator combo. I'm just talking base model. I think it was $549 without the combo.
Okay, and the combo pushed up to like $699 or something like that.
Right, it was close to $700. By the time I paid taxes and everything, it was over $700 when I got the Pocket 3. So, so stay tuned for all this. This is exciting.
That was a good value, Bill, because they threw in a mic 2 that was probably worth $100 on its own.
Exactly. So, stay tuned for all this. Now, we thought that this was going to be our story of the week. I know Ron and Marcus and DeMarco covered it on Drone Nation last night, and we're all excited and everything. And then this morning, we get something popping up out on our feed, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And we're gonna show this here now. It's like, that's why I said, I led the show in by talking about having Rotor Talk on Tuesdays. You normally see, and what you're seeing right here, okay, all new dimensions, discover what's beyond DJI drone, okay, and
fireworks in 360 there, Bill.
Yeah, and I'm not playing the sound because that almost always is the dead giveaway for getting issues with YouTube or anybody. But this
of course,
is the
you're playing
promo
basically
video.
a commercial here, so how can anybody be mad you're giving free advertising?
Well, and somebody dropped in the comments here, still no release date. Well, it's kind of imminent, okay? When you see this promo come out, it's really kind of imminent.
It's close.
It's very close, and it's going to be closer than the Pocket 4, okay? I think
Bill, I was shocked that none of the leakers, almost 99% of the time, the leakers know the promo video at least 24 hours before it comes out. Nobody knew this was coming from the leakers.
Yeah, no Jasper making any posts, no Igor making any posts. DJI Rumors, they make
Nobody
posts.
Knew this teaser was coming.
Nothing from Osita Love. I mean, it was kind of like boom. Next thing you know, this is out there. I mean, it just come popping. Ron, I was out this morning on Facebook after I got up and I logged in for work and everything, and I got over to my home computer and I'm on there and I'm looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the promo video for the Osmo for the 360. Wow.
I saw it when I woke up on Twitter and didn't even have that many views by then. It was so recent.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about this from somebody else. I saw it on DJI's official Twitter page or whatever.
Yeah, that's where I first saw it as well too.
Yeah.
I was out on Twitter. I saw it out there, and then I decided, in order to, I wanted to get it out there to get out to the group. So I went out to DJI's page on Facebook and I moved it over here. So, and I said that's no doubt, that leaves absolutely no doubt that it's imminent. We'll probably
maybe possibly next week or something.
I think possibly next week for sure. I think we'll have some kind of a date come out. Now, what is real interesting here is that they didn't have anything about a save the date and time on this. Usually when they put these promos out, Ron, they usually do that. And I'm kind of surprised that they didn't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, some of that campaign used to be they would send emails out, but of course we don't get emails in the US anymore.
That's true. That's very true.
But yeah, I mean, I've never seen them release a teaser for a new product and then not drop it for a month or something like that.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think this is going to be imminent. We've all seen it out in the wild. We've seen what I consider legit pictures of it. I think it's in stock in retail outlets. I don't think that's a problem. And again, the one thing I do want to caution everybody on this is as I said with the Pocket 4, please do yourself a big favor and wait a week. Okay. You're not going to be a groundbreaker on this. You don't need to be the first person on the block to get it unless you really want to spend extra money. Go ahead and do it. Sit back a week or two and wait on it. And like I said, you'll see that price come dropping down. And that's historically what we've seen on eBay this year, or, in 2025 and coming up to 2026, is that price will drop after a week or two. So hang on, keep your hands in your pockets. Don't let that money fly out, and, be a little on the patient side.
And that's going to be easy for me, Bill, because this is a drone I'm not sure I'm getting. I'm going to watch all the reviews. I'm not saying I won't get it, but it won't be an automatic buy for me. I will have to be sold on this one, Bill.
Well, I think I am going to get this, Ron, because a 360 camera in and of itself does not interest me, but a 360 camera on a drone does, because of the different perspectives that you can get from this. And I think that DJI is probably one of the things that I think that they probably learned. I think the Osmo 360 was kind of like a proving grounds for them. All right, as far as 360 cameras were concerned, and they learned a lot from this. All right, and I think the lessons that they've learned is they've applied it to the Avata 360. And I think we'll probably have the Mimo app will probably be very much updated to really make a big difference in terms of getting your video ready to edit, getting it out on DaVinci Resolve, and putting something out on YouTube that will really grab attention. And I think it will be a lot more seamless and easy. As Ron stated in the past, and I think this is something, I know you guys have heard this before, but I want to make sure of this. Ron's talked about with Insta360 with their 360 cameras is, that there's an app that you can actually use to edit that footage here. Okay. And I think this is what the Mimo app is going to do here with this. And I think it's going to make it so much easier for you to be able to process this. Because I saw when you guys had Eddie on last, and he talked about, how much he incorporates 360 footage into his feed. And he says it's not a lot because it's a lot of work. Well, I think this is probably going to be something, I think DJI has probably recognized that. And I think what they're going to do is, they want to streamline it. They want to make it so you want to use this drone. They want to make it so you want to use the 360 on this drone. And in order to do that, you need to have an easy form of processing. So I think they probably really beefed up their app and the processor on the app, and it's going to be kind of a seamless transition. What are your
Bill,
thoughts
for
on
me,
that?
one of the things, again, this is just a Ron wish list, but you know how our current DJI doesn't have master shots where they take they do a collection of various shots. I hope that they work out some kind of 360 quick shots where it does the shot, it does the 360 editing in the drone for you. So it comes off your drone as an edited like 360 quick shot. You know what I'm saying, Bill?
Yeah.
I know exactly. Done for you, just like our master shots now kind of edit itself into like a little video. Well, this, not only do you take the master 360, but it actually puts it out as an edited little 360 video clip. I think that could be something that would help me maybe buy it more.
Yeah, because, and this is a good point from Eye in the Sky here, talking about how it handles indoor close quarters flying. And I think, what I'm going to say is this is because of its design, which is it's a lot like the Avata 2, and and it's a lot like the Neo 2, and those kind of drones have a tendency to do pretty well with indoor flying. I think it will do well with indoor flying as well too. I think also having the versatility of be able to use it with a regular controller, which is what really appeals to me, is something that's really going to make this drone sell real well, Ron, because there's a lot of people like me that really want to get something like this, but if goggles were the only way to be able to fly this, I'd have to take a pass on it because I can't really do the goggles.
Yep. And the indoor flying, I mean, Eye in the Sky may have a special use case here, but like outside somebody doing real estate or whatever, not a whole lot of people have a need to fly these things, get cinematic video indoors, or especially even with a regular 360 camera. I mean, I hardly ever use it indoors.
Yeah.
360 works better in kind of a space and not necessarily a small room, but he probably has a special use case scenario for it. But I'm just saying it's a niche. 360 cameras inside a niche, and 360 drone cameras inside probably even a bigger niche.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, and I think this has put anti-gravity on its heels, and that's why you saw the discounts from anti-gravity.
Or that sells over too.
Yeah, and it really kind of is not. And Ron's pointed it out real well. You really haven't seen a lot of, people in our space adopting the anti-gravity and using it and posting videos out there. And the ones that have are like one or two and done, and you haven't seen follow-up videos.
Yeah, the big
on that.
channels, you're lucky if you got a second video out of the big channels. Now, DD Fellows in the chat here, he consistently puts out videos on the anti-gravity. He's one of the few people that puts them out almost every week. But the big channels, they've already given up on it, Bill. They forgot. Yeah. They don't really use it. I mean, if they do, it's probably because they called them up and paid them to do a second video or third video.
Now, this is a good comment from him right here. The new model drone, it's kind of like buying a new model car before they work the bugs out. You can beef up things, but the real quirks will come out via crop. And you're right, DD fellas. That's a great comment to make, because, a lot of times we find, that we're beta testers for a lot of these things. I mean, you can go through, and I'm not to say that these companies don't go out there and spend the time to test these products. Okay, they do. But in order to really get a lot of real world feedback, okay, you can't, it's impossible to test every scenario.
Yeah, I'll make your point for you, Bill. So I this guys talk about flying indoors in tight spaces. Well, the people that designed the the Avata 360 and all the people, they probably never imagined somebody using that for them. So it probably didn't get tested out heavily indoors because they didn't think that's what people were going to use it for.
You're probably right, Ron.
I mean, when you, like you said, when you get to real users' hands, they'll put it through things that the people who built the drone and testers never ever imagined people would do with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And one of the things for me is with all of this is, there's been, today it was incredible the response I saw once people woke up and thought, when they saw the promo for this from DJI. It's like, whoa, okay, because it's really, Ron, this is something that's really, I look at it like when DJI came out with the Mini 5 Pro. Okay, it's really piques people's interest. Okay, there are certain drones from DJI that you'll see that interest level spike up like crazy, and the Avata 360 is one of them. Okay, because I saw the number of views initially this morning, and to where it was then to where it was right before I came on during airtime tonight was insane. Okay, it jumped up, and I'm just not talking Twitter. I'm talking on Facebook as well too, and Instagram, because it's gotten quite a number of views on it, and it's really jumped up.
Bill, will this drone be a big hit? When I say a big hit, will it be like a Mini 5 Pro style big hit, or will it be, or will it be as big as that of the Neo 2, or will it be kind of a hit but a smaller hit?
No, I think it'll be a big hit, Ron, because I think DJI has really done its homework this time. They haven't really rushed this out to production, okay? Because anti-gravity came out, and they could have said, well, anti-gravity's out, we need to get ours out. No.
Yeah, anti-gravity officially announced their product last August.
Yeah, it's been out for a while, and it's,
well, it didn't ship until like the end of November, but people knew. I mean, it was officially announced, and people saw or whatever like as early as August of 2025.
Well, it's like baking that casserole in the oven. You give it another 15 minutes, and it's going to have that texture and that flavor that you want. And I think that's what we have here in this instance. Is DJI wanted to make sure that they crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's before they got the 360 Avata 360 out. And I think you're going to see a very polished product. I think you're going to see one where they've really put it through its paces, because I know there's been a lot of test photos of it out there. People have really, really run this through the gambit. And like I said, I think one of the big things and one of the big keys on this is the processing that 360 footage. And I think the Mimo app they've probably really done something very well with that. So stay tuned for all this. It's coming up. And I think this is going to be at a reasonable price too, Ron. From the prices that I've seen.
We saw the price leads going back to January. Yes.
Yeah. I think the pricing on this is very reasonable. It's something that's very affordable. I think
let me play devil's advocate with you though. How can they take? Okay, they got the camera technology in the Insta360. I mean, the DJI 360 camera, whatever they call that, and that camera is like about $400 or $500 camera, right? So how are they going to take a $400 or $500 camera and put it in a drone and still charge $400 or $500 for it?
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm devil's advocate. I mean, maybe it won't be the same technology as a standalone 360 camera. Maybe it'll be dumbed down, or in some way or another. But I just don't understand how you could take anybody's 360 camera costs $400 to $500 or whatever. So how can they take that technology, put in a drone, and only charge somebody $500 for it?
Well, and I think a lot of it breaks down into a research and development, production development costs along those lines, what these components are, because, you look at these cameras, and in the standalone camera, it's physically a bigger camera, So there's probably more physical material inside that camera
And
as
remember,
well.
it's actually 2 cameras, Bill.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Versus what you have on the Avata 360 here. They're going to be smaller in nature. And also too, there's not talk about, and see, the one thing with the Osmo 360 is, the other thing is about the lens and replacing the lens if you need to do that. And there's been no discussion of that whatsoever with the Avata 360 because, obviously, it's recessed. It's not where it's going to get hit unless the drone really crashes and does a complete, total crash on that. That camera is going to be fine. You're not going to have the issues that we have.
Yeah, hopefully they have, even the other 360 cameras, they have lens guards you can put on to protect them.
Yeah, exactly here. So, so while it's under transport or while you're, waiting to fly it again, you put that prop guard on there or the gimbal guard on there and it'll protect that. So, and the beautiful thing about this as well too is it has a normal camera. So, and I think a lot of people, this kind of gets lost in the sauce with this. Okay. You can still shoot normally. Okay. And a lot of people have kind of missed the point with this as well too. So I think all this combined, Ron, has generated a lot of excitement with people. It's almost like it's another, I don't want to say iteration of a mini drone, but it's something that I think it's going to have a lot of universal appeal. It's going to appeal to a lot of those who like the FPV and the goggles and that kind of genre. It's going to appeal to people like me who can't use goggles and be able to fly it normally with the controller. And it's also going to appeal to people who want to find out about 360 cameras and what they're like and how that footage, how you can incorporate that footage. And if DJI's, like I said, I really think they probably made it a whole lot easier to be able to incorporate it into your workflow and into your product. And if they've done that, that's going to be a home run all the way around. So if everything what I've stated is true, and I don't know this for a fact, but if it is, okay, this drone is going to sell as well as a mini drone, or maybe even exceed that, Ron. Wow. That's going to be my estimates for this.
Well, Bill, if you're right about that, I guess I better start making videos about how to edit 360 video. Those videos will do real well when first timers get this drone and don't have any idea how to edit the video.
That you may be in business there, Ron, with having to come up with some of those videos. So
Didi fellas talk about the Osmo 360 has to be sent back to the factory to get their lenses replaced, but yet you can't send stuff back, DJI stuff in the States. So you're kind of between a rock and a hard place with your Osmo 360 camera if you break a lens.
That's very true. So that's one of these things. It's like, you have some issues. It's going to be, hopefully you can find a repair place. I know there's that DJI store in New York City. And I think somebody else last week had posted a link too about another facility. And I don't know if about being able to repair DJI drones. He may have done it on Drone Nation or out here in the chat. I'm not sure. You may want to look through the last couple of weeks of shows to see that. But I know there was another link posted for a place where you can get DJI products repaired here in the United States. So definitely those are some avenues that you have right now with the way things are as far as.
Of course, Bill, they're not official DJI things, so there's no care refresh. You'll be paying the full load for these repairs.
Yeah.
Jim Jones telling you to get those Renee kind of reality glasses, where a lot of these guys fly with these not goggles, but reality glasses to fly their drones out. You can plug them into the controller USB.
Okay.
And the thing about this, most of these reality glasses, they have pass through, so you're not, you can still see what's going on around you.
Right. So,
I mean, I've tried them before. Now the goggles don't make me dizzy, so the reality glasses don't do. But for somebody like you, I don't know if the reality glasses would have the same dizziness effect or not. Here they're talking about Dr. Drone in Vegas also repairs DJI drones. He's also, Michael, I believe, a retailer too.
That's great. And here's a link. Thank you for that. That's
a New York City store. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for posting that. So there's some information here. If you guys are looking to get your DJI drones repaired, there's a couple of outlets here. Thank you on this guy. And thank you, Michael Wright, for these listings. Want want to make sure that we talk about that here.
And Bill, all the thing about the 360 lenses, of course, this 360 drone, you want to fly with the controller, but of course it is an FPV drone. So a lot of guys will be flying an FPV and they're going through tiny gaps and whatever, things like that. So they have a good chance of crashing and hitting one of those lenses, flying in a kind of a fast-paced FPV style, going through small gaps.
That's true. And that's where DJI Care Refresh would be nice, but we don't have DJI Care Refresh right now. So stay tuned on that.
Yeah. But you'll be flying camera drone style, so you'll have a lot less chance of running into things.
Right. Now, also too, realize this, if say for instance, the worst does happen, and you can't really repair your drone, you can probably pick up a drone only for probably maybe about $350 in this instance.
Certain drones. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Look at one Joker FPV1 has a question for us. He says, do you guys think the RC2 will work with the Avata 360?
It's possible. It's really possible.
I mean, Joker, unless they come out with a brand new controller alongside the Avata 360, I think it has to, right, Bill?
Yeah. I would say chances are good for that to happen, but
basically the RC2, the RC N3, and the new Pro 2 controller kind of all work on the same the same Aki sync. So they should all work with, again, the only exception being the 360 comes out with a new Aki sync and it comes out with a brand new controller for it. But I don't see that really happening, Bill.
I agree, Ron. I don't think that they're going to have too many controllers in their ecosystem and keeping track of things and what works with what. I don't think
the only reason they upgrade the controllers is because the Aki sync changes. That's
true. That's very true. So, before we wrap things up here, I wanted to go ahead and take the time. Didn't want to do this until the end of the show, and I don't have that fancy graphic that you can get from TubeBuddy, but I just hit 20,000 subscribers.
Oh, congrats, Bill! Congrats.
Thank you, Ron. And I want to. And what I want to do is this. I want to thank each and every one of you who like on a video, who watch the show, who comment on a video, who are subscribed to the channel, who comment. You guys are the reason that I do this. Okay. Getting those wonderful replies back from you guys means the world to me. And that I did this because I want to get information to you guys in a short, consistent, efficient manner with my videos. And that's the whole premise of starting my channel. And I think we have done that. We've done that here, not only on my regular videos, we've also done that on Rotor Talk on a consistent basis. Get you that information that you need to be able to make your decisions. We appreciate genuinely the questions that you get. I do get quite a few questions during the week, each week, email and messages. And thank you guys for that. Don't ever stop those questions. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate your faith and trust in me and coming here and watching both Ron and I every Tuesday night. We're on every week, unless there's a natural disaster, we're here. And we do it because we really like drones. We really like you guys. We love interacting with you guys. So again, it's really all about you. And I want to thank you guys so much for that and putting your trust and faith in me and in Ron and being able to carry this message out to you guys. So that's kind of my 2 cents worth. Ron, you have anything to close up with here?
Outside, congrats again, Bill, for hitting the 20,000 views. I know it's tougher now because YouTube, especially YouTube drone videos, aren't what they used to be. But you have the other stuff going on now too. But congrats on that, and that kind of got some maybe exciting news today with that teaser for the Avata 360. So keep watching channels like Bill the Drone Reviewer, Drone Nation, and our personal channels for more updates on that drone going into the next week. Hopefully, maybe we'll see it sometime next week or next couple weeks. So maybe March could be a good month where we get a Avata 360 and a Pocket for like a 2-for-1 deal, right, Bill?
Well, my closing thoughts are this: is wouldn't it be nice to have an Avata 360 to take one to the South Florida drone meetup in April? So yes. That could be a very real possibility here. and just a seamless plug-in. And I know Captain Ray's in the audience here.
Yeah.
That's coming up. And
Yeah.
a reminder that that's going to be the second weekend in April, because the first weekend in April is Easter. So Ray had enough forethought to get that to the second weekend in April, not to conflict with Easter at all. And
yeah, and we tried to get the Easter Bunny to come, but he was busy that weekend, so we had to move it back.
so we're stuck with Ray and Johnny instead of the Easter Bunny. So but I want to thank you guys again. If you guys haven't done so, go out to Ray has a page out there on Facebook. Go out there, sign up, make reservations if you need to. It's going to be a great time. It's always a lot of fun. And the best part about those is not flying your drones when you're at the meetup, but seeing everybody and talking to everybody and just having a lot of laughs and a good time. And that's why I love going that. Valerie loves going to it. Sorry we weren't able to get to it last year. She had her Vertigo episodes. We've kind of curtailed her Vertigo for now, so I think we're going to be good. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody this year. As always, guys, it's
Bill,
one
last thought before you close. I do want to say thoughts and prayers to Johnny Drone Flyer, who lost his mother-in-law this past week.
Oh, very sorry to hear that, Johnny. Very, very, very sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Deepest sympathies to you.
Yeah.
Want to pass that along. Sorry, very sorry to hear that. So, as always, guys, it's a great day to fly. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.
Goodbye.